Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So excited for you to join. My name is Jaime Anderson and I am amazingly alcohol free. And I'm getting my good friend Karin to join us, and we're going to do an Instagram Live, which I'm really excited about. Karin, it's so good to see
Hey,
you. I just saw
it's so
you a
good to
couple
see
minutes
you.
ago when we tested, but your hair is looking really blonde and beautiful. And a lot of people say we're sisters. I like it. I want to look like you.
We do look like each other. What do
I,
you mean?
I know. I'm like, who's like, I swear, sometimes you post and I'm like, wait, is that a picture of me? I'm like, that's not.
I know. It's really hard to tell sometimes.
I know.
But
I
I
know.
showered today. I did the thing. I
I
showered.
did
I
too.
put eyeshadow on. It's amazing what that does
I
for
just
you.
it just like it completely changes just how you show up for the day. It feels
I
really
know.
good.
And I
Yeah.
feel bright and shiny. So,
Yes,
here we are.
me too. Well, we have lots of people joining. I am sober Laura. We have Sir WS894. I know who you are. Hi from the UK. I think it's
Yay,
like 8
hello.
p.m. over in the UK.
That's
So love
amazing.
it. Yeah, it's only noon here in the Seattle area. And so I'm so excited for you guys to join us. Hello, Karen. We're excited to be here. This is my first Instagram live with Karin, and so excited. So Karin and I just met on Instagram. Honestly, we're both sober coaches, and we just follow each other. And she's actually been on my podcast. We did another podcast a couple of weeks ago together, and now we're buddies. And so, which
We're
is
just kind of
really
obsessed
really
with each
cool.
other.
I know, right? It's because we look like sisters, apparently everybody
Exactly.
says.
I
But
know.
that's one of the beautiful things about, this alcohol-free journey. I've met so many other women that are coaches, but also just other women that have become really close friends of mine just because we all had this thing in common, alcohol, right?
Hmm.
And now and I have friends that are all over the US and it's nuts. And it's just been such a beautiful thing and such a benefit I never expected from this. It's like, whoa, I get to meet these women that get it, that are like,
Right.
have had similar journeys. And we just support each other. So it's beautiful. I love it. Now we're doing
It
Instagram
truly
Lives
is.
together.
It truly is. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, just finding that, like, we all know that, like, the opposite of addiction is connection, and
Yes.
finding connection in ways you never thought you'd be able to. Like,
Yes.
I mean, we all thought we could connect on the internet, but not in such like a deep way that we're allowed
Yeah.
to with the journeys that we're on. So it really is special.
I know. And I was always the type of person I was like, I don't need any more friends when I was a drinker. Like, I'm good. I don't want to be social. Like, I was just like not into it. And now I'm like, I have all these like community of women. And I'm like, I'm doing Instagram lives. I would never have thought I would do that. So
No
it's
kidding.
just, it's crazy what can happen when you let go of literally like one beverage. It's crazy how it
Truly.
changes.
Truly.
Yes, but let me go ahead and kick it off. So for you guys that don't know, my name is Jaime Anderson. I'm based in the Seattle, Washington area, and I'm amazingly alcohol free. I am an alcohol free coach. I do group coaching. I have one-on-one coaching in a community called the Confidence Club, and I also have a podcast with my mom, Jules, which is absolutely crazy to say it. And today, Karin and I are going to talk about the start-stop cycle, which a lot of you may know it's an exhausting loop that so many women get stuck in, where you keep trying to take that break from alcohol and then that weekend comes around again and you're just back into it. So constant start stop. I think a lot of us, everybody at least that I've worked with, has done the start stop cycle. And without it, I wouldn't be here and be alcohol free. So we're going to just share our experiences with it, some of our top tips to help kind of, get past it forever and really just make this being alcohol free stick, and then some of the benefits of it. So I'm excited to share with you kind of like what's worked for both of us because we have very different stories, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Which is the beautiful thing. And like, hopefully our experiences can maybe help motivate you a little bit, or maybe you can take a nugget today that can just help you on your journey. So that's really our goal, right? So Karin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Karin. I am from Madison, Wisconsin, so I'm over here in the Midwest. I'm also an alcohol recovery coach, and I mostly support women, especially in the Midwest, who know that something isn't working anymore and feel like maybe they're called to something more. They may not identify with alcohol being a problem in the traditional sense, but they know it's no longer serving them. So I kind of help and support and guide them to find more joy, step into their higher purpose, and build a more fulfilling life. So I do that through one-on-one coaching. I curate some local sober events, like recovery hikes, and I just do some speaking events as well. So really getting out there and sharing my story and trying to help people that way. So
Oh, I love it so much. That's great. And so, and I love your nature walks. I've been seeing you post about them, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about the nature
Sure.
like aspect
Yeah,
being so healing. But
absolutely.
yeah, but I absolutely love that. So, if anybody has questions, please feel free to drop them in on Instagram Live. Sometimes I can see them, sometimes Karin will, but we'll do our best. If you have any questions, please don't be shy. But Karin, I would love to just maybe have you share your experience of kind of the start and stop cycle, and then maybe I'll share a little bit about like my experience as well.
Excellent. So yeah, I really was in that start stop cycle for I would say probably like 12 years or more. So I, always like in the back of my head had that little voice that knew that like you shouldn't be drinking every day and like this isn't normal and you don't feel good and why do you keep putting yourself through this like waking up with a hangover and like taking 3 days to recover and feeling like all of this anxiety and stuff. So I would always try like the I'm only gonna drink like on the weekends. I'm only gonna drink 1 or 2 nights a week. I'm gonna just do sober October and I'm gonna do dry January and I'm gonna do all of these little breaks and these stops. But it just like I always ended up back to drinking, like no matter what. And I think it's because for me, I didn't really know until I quit drinking for good that there's more that goes into it than just stopping drinking, right? Like we really have to do the work that continues on after just stopping drinking alcohol. So I really wasn't exploring that side of it. I just thought, oh, I'm going to quit drinking and everything's going to be fine. But I wasn't realizing like I can't just stop drinking. I've got to now like set up some things for success and like find these tools to like really help nurture my sobriety along the way. And I was never doing that. So, of course, I wasn't having as much success and going right back into my cycles because, I think there's physiologically we drink alcohol, we have a hangover, and like 3 days later we start to naturally start to feel better. The alcohol starts to kind of not have as much effect on our bodies anymore, so we're like, oh, I feel so much better now. I'm just going to go back to doing the thing that I was doing, and then it just starts all over again. So that's kind of like what went on for me.
Yeah, and I resonate with that so much. And I love how you said you needed to like nurture your sobriety because if you just quit drinking and you do nothing else, obviously you're going to drink again. And another thing, guys, like alcohol is highly addictive. So many women are so freaking hard on themselves because they're in the start stop cycle and it's like, well, it's addictive. Of course you are. And
Right.
specifically, if you didn't know the tools to be able to let go or to deal with life without alcohol, then how are you going to be successful, right? And so
Right.
that's one of the things we're so freaking hard on ourselves, but it's like when alcohol's freaking everywhere and
Right,
like
it
and
is.
you
You
and you just
can't
don't know
escape
what you
it.
don't know.
Mm-mm.
Yes. And it's really hard, specifically if you're social, it's everywhere. So of course it's gonna happen. But love, and you've come so far now, which is absolutely amazing. And we'll kind of talk more about like the benefits and some of your top tips too that helped
Right.
you kind of, have it stick for good, being alcohol
Yeah.
free. But for me, I mean, alcohol, very similar to you. I know, like I started drinking. My first beer was in the seventh grade, and I grew up in just a drinking culture in my house. Like my mom and my stepdad beers all the time. Like I used to like steal Bud Lights and and put
Hmm.
them under my bed and save them for a special event, like in the seventh, eighth grade, which is crazy to even think about that. But I also had three older brothers, and they partied and they were popular, and I was like, okay, I want to be like them. And like for me, it just really taught me that confidence, and then it just became part of my identity. And it didn't really hit me until I turned 40 that I really started questioning my alcohol, which is crazy. I mean, I
Hmm.
gave years to alcohol, like so many years. And it was just when I started to just feel like this doesn't feel right anymore. I was just, my hangovers were worse. I was really looking forward to it. I was feeling blah. I wasn't really liking myself. And then I just started to like slowly question it. But I stopped. I tried to stop like every Monday for me. Like I was like, all
Hmm.
right, I'm taking a break again. I'm gonna take a week off. And then Thursday would come around and I'd be like, all right, well, like let's go to the brewery. Love beer. Like I was always a beer drinker.
Dear
Um,
Jamie.
Beer Jamie, that's what literally was my name in college. Wasn't that crazy? And it was just that vicious cycle, but I did all the things. I'd be like, well, I'm a beer drinker. Let me try wine,
Hmm.
or, let me do, hard alcohol. Like I would try all the things and the moderation and the rules, and it just never worked for me. And I just kept start stopping. And my body just never adjusted. I just always felt like crap whenever whenever I did it. And so it took me a really long time to get to this point. And so, but I always say without having start and stops, I wouldn't be here. Like
Right.
it's just how the process is, right? And then finally it stuck. And for me, it was when I found sober Instagram. Honestly, I found Suzanne Noor Ware of Sober Mom Life, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not the only one that feels this way. Because I thought, like, I didn't, I thought something was wrong with me. Like everybody else is drinking, and I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't want to talk to friends because I didn't want people to think like I was weak because of this or anything was wrong with me. And then I was like, whoa, there's a whole community on Instagram. And that was 4 years ago when I started to question it. And then I found podcasts. And then that's where I
Mm-hmm.
started to learn, like, oh, you can't just let go of the alcohol. Here's like, these are the things you do instead. Like, walk, like Casey Davidson of Hello Sunday. I love her. She's also local here. Her podcast was like in my ear 24/7 my first like 60 days, and she had a topic for everything. And then that's where I really learned that it's not just quitting drinking. You need to do this all other work for it. And so for me, it was
Mm-hmm.
really just finding I'm not alone in this, and like there's
Right.
nothing wrong with me. Um, and then it finally stuck. And I think for me, it was just being like, okay, like, wow, these other women are doing it. They're feeling great. And I want that too. And then I
Right.
just kept going and then layering, adding more and more things as like I'm growing. And I still do things like like I have my own community, but I do emotional sobriety stuff now with another group. Like, so it's like just continuing to layer and layer it on, which has been great for me. So if you're in the start stop cycle, like there's absolutely nothing wrong with you, right? Like,
No, no,
yes.
it's like we got to think about it that like we have been grown into a society that alcohol is intertwined into every single part of it. I mean, people drink at baby showers. You know, they have sip and sees where people come and see their newborn babies and are letting people that are drinking alcohol hold their brand newborn babies.
Like,
Like it is nobody's fault if you are struggling to not be able to like have it stick. Like it took, like I said, 12 years for me, and it was just non-stop of, but you know, I really look at it now as like from that beginning phase where I started doing the start stop, it was like the planting seeds phase. Like
yeah.
every single time you're going along the way and you're just like planting these little seeds, and eventually it kind of starts to sprout, and then it starts to grow, and eventually it blooms into, you know, sobriety. So you know, that's just like, just keep going, and it's always gonna, you know, it's gonna stick someday. You're, you know, the planting seeds, it's there for a reason. Like it's not going to be something that you're thinking about, or, you know, something that doesn't come into your consciousness that isn't meant for you. So
Yes.
that's gonna happen. And for me, I really found Holly Whitaker, the Quit Like a Woman, and at the time she was still running her Tempest sobriety school. So
Yeah.
I got the daily emails, and I just had no idea. I was one of those ones that thought that there's only AA, there's no other way to like
Mm.
recover. I didn't know that there were women out there doing this thing, and thank goodness for all of us and all of the other women that came before us that were doing this.
Yes.
Um to just give us those tools. And for me it was really like nature. You know,
Yes.
I got out in the woods. I quit, you know, right before the pandemic hit. So the world was shut down and I didn't really have a choice to do much else. But I'm grateful that I was able to get into the woods and just like find some center and peace. And I continue to cultivate that now. And that's something that I do and like, you know, thrive on. It's kind of like the framework of the coaching and the things that I do is like nature based. So,
Yeah. So is that like your number one thing for you has been nature or
mhm.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
hands down. I mean, and me getting really radically honest with myself. You know, I think a lot of times with that start stop cycle, especially, people get to that point where boredom takes over or complacency takes
Yes.
over, and they just don't know what to do with themselves. And for me, I what I tell my clients is like that's an opportunity to tune in and realize that that like boredness and that anxious energy that's just swirling around inside you is an opportunity to be able to like go inward and to really start like learning about yourself and really start healing some of those things that you've been numbing for so long.
Yeah.
And that's a really important part that we, just so quickly get back into the cycle again and don't like take that time to really like listen and tune in and say like what is it that I need right now? Like what is it that I'm missing? What am I, doing? So getting really radically honest with yourself and make lists. My biggest thing was making a list of what alcohol adds to my life and
Mhm.
what it's taking away from my life and keeping it somewhere like on my fridge or on my mirror in the morning
Yeah.
where I could see it all of the time. And so it was always a reminder like,
Yes.
you're meant for more than this. Like, you have that
Yes.
little voice in your head, you deserve it. And it's just time to start listening to that voice and not numbing it out.
Exactly, which can be really hard to do,
Hmm.
right? And like,
Hmm.
but I think that putting pen to the paper and the journaling and really reflecting on like what it's giving you versus taking away, like it's huge. I do that too with like my community and clients, and it's super helpful. And I love the nature walks too. Like, there's something powerful just about 10 minutes outside. Just
Hmm.
outside, it can literally change your day around. And if you're in early sobriety too, it can be really hard the first 7 days. Like I always say, like treat yourself like you're
Hmm.
sick, but just go outside, get some fresh air, get, your energy, your blood flowing. And it feels really good to be outside and get a little sunshine and just like I can hear the birds chirping, right? And
Right.
nature is so healing.
It
So
really is. I mean,
healing.
scientifically, it is really, it actually like hearing bird song actually calms our
Yes.
nervous system because birds
Yes.
sing only when there's no danger to them.
Yes.
So you can kind of be like, I feel safe. That's something that you
Yes.
can, do some grounding practices, put your hand on your heart and just say, I feel safe right now. And listen to those birds sing and just sit. I spent a year just sitting in my backyard
Yeah.
and just listened to birds as often as I could and really didn't do anything else to just kind of regulate a little bit because that's a really
Yes.
important part of that is like regulating our nervous system and finding ways
Yes.
and tools to do that.
Yeah, and I needed that today. I was feeling really anxious of a lot of stuff going on this morning, and I was like, I just need to go stand out on the deck and just like soak in some nature, and it
Mm-hmm.
helps. Like I
Go
just
lay in the
crave that
grass.
smell. Yes, like bare
Mm-hmm.
feet in the grass. There's so much
Mm-hmm.
that you can do, or just have tea on your patio, or read a book, right? And just being
Yeah.
out there really does help, and so that's huge. So getting outside is really huge. Just reflecting like on why you want this in the in the first place, I think is really huge. The other part for me that was huge in the beginning was community. So earlier on, I joined a women's community called Lighthouse Sobriety, which has been absolutely amazing for me. And that's where I felt like things really started to come together for me. And I don't think if I would have, because I joined that 3 months and I did like like a group challenge like I run
Mm-hmm.
today. And I don't know if I would have continued on that. And so for me, the community has been really, really powerful as far as just my own journey, because it's like when you get to be around other women that, have one thing in common, but very different experiences, but where you can just share everything that's going on and just like let all this shit go that we've been
Yes.
dealing with. Like, again, we're so hard on ourselves and a lot of shame and guilt around drinking, but being able to like vocalize it and then have women be like, we get it. We're here for you. We
Mm-hmm.
support you. And just having people there in your corner, it's like those are the people like I want to surround myself with too, that are more
Absolutely.
aligned with like where I'm going. And that's been huge for me. Again, like I never really thought I would be a community person. And now I'm like doing it. And I honestly love it. Like it is huge for me. I'm so excited to wake up and like here for the women in my group or celebrate the wins together. We had a call today. It was a really hard call. Like someone was going through something really hard, and we're like there for them. And, they left feeling a little bit lighter. I mean, we didn't solve all their problems, but at least that they
Right.
know that they have it, right? And so has
Right.
community been big for you in your journey?
It has now. In the
Yeah.
beginning, not as much actually.
No.
I didn't find my like or start finding community until like this last year actually. And I'm
Yeah.
over 6 years alcohol free, but I was really still trying to fit my old life into my new life. I was really trying to fit my new self into this box of my old life. So I was feeling really unaligned for a long time with that, like still trying to go out to the music festivals and still go out and see live music at the bars and things like that, and just like I felt so much anxiousness behind that. So then when I finally started finding like a sober community, even in this last year, things have just felt so much more light and free and amazing, and it's been really nice. We just celebrated a friend's 1 year anniversary, soberversary just the other day. And just the connection that we've all made in such a short period of time. Because that's the thing, like, you're having real, authentic conversations that aren't just like surface level anymore. It's not like
Yes.
the going out and just saying, hey, how are you? And then like feeling awkward about what to say next because it kind of, for some reason, we find it really hard to like share our joys and our wins in the like general public. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to go up when somebody says, hey, how have you been? Be like, I'm so great. I have all of these wonderful things going on and la, 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 la. We just don't do that.
Mm.
It's just like, it's always like, oh, good. Weather's
Yeah.
been great. Wish it was a little warmer. We
Always
have
the
these very
weather.
surface level conversations. But when you're in a sober community, especially like a sober community of women or a sober community of men or whatever your group is that you identify with, whenever you find that and you can like get deeper and like get under those layers and all of that, it's just like magic can truly happen. It's healing for everybody in the group. You
Yes.
just, to be able to say things out loud that you never thought you'd be able to say is like
Uh,
one of the greatest gifts
it
that you
is.
can receive, and to be able to give that to somebody and be a safe space for them to be able to like express themselves and share
Yeah.
things out loud, is it's incredible. And
Yeah.
we don't get to really experience that enough in our day-to-day lives. So
100%. And it's like that shame, it just like it grows in that silence. And it's like once you just start sharing it, you just feel so much lighter. And there's just something so powerful about it. And also,
mhm.
like our community, we don't always talk about being alcohol free too. It's like, oh, my kids are going through this, and like, oh, mine are too. Or, I'm having an issue with this today. Like, and it's not even about that. It's really, really cool just to be able to
Yeah.
support each other. And it's been huge for me, just, opening up and, hey, I'm feeling really stressed today. This is what's going on. And,
Mhm.
even as a coach, I need it too, right?
Right. Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. We created out of like our Sober Sisters group.
Yeah.
We have like kind of like a subgroup where
I
we've
love
created
it.
like accountability buddies group. So
Yeah.
we started it as kind of like a way to keep ourselves like accountable fitness wise and like sharing our
Yeah.
like daily progress from our watches and fitness devices. But now it's really turned into like all encompassing kind of support where it just
Yeah.
kind of naturally happened. There's only a few of us in it, but
Yeah.
it's just really nice to like know and wake up to that every day and know that those people are there and that I can feel comfortable to like share how I'm feeling that day.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to have anything to do with sobriety. It can be just about like anything, relationships, anything under the sun. And it's just like that connection is just, there's just nothing like it.
I know, I know. It's been huge for me. So like if anybody's struggling with the start stop cycle, look into community because like it's huge and it's like it helps with accountability and you don't have to go through this alone because there's so
Yeah.
many and there's a lot of sober groups out there too. Like and so try them out too. Some might not be the best fit, there's other ones too. So
Yeah,
there's so many
absolutely.
options these days for online stuff and like meetings and all the things. And it's been huge. And now I even have like my own little community. Like my kiddo, he has some special needs. So I have like other moms that go
Yeah.
through that. And I'm like, let's go get our little group going because we need to talk about that too. And so like I feel like I'm expanding it more just on other
Yeah.
areas where I need. So it's been really great.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
is there any other like big things that have helped for you for like managing the start stop cycle and how to kind of get that to stop? I would love to hear it.
For me, it's really just about, like I said, like tuning in and just being like aware of my patterns and
Mhm.
writing that down is really, if it's in your notes app on your phone or just like anywhere you need to see it. That's really just helped for me being able to like just recognize my patterns because we get amnesia after a couple of days and
Yes.
we just like kind of let everything we thought fly out the window. So keeping a list close of just like this is what I know works for me when I'm feeling like this. And then just kind of remembering. And it takes us so long for a pattern to become a habit. I think it's like a insane amount of times you need to do something before it's habit forming. So, just kind of reminding yourself. Also, I'm really into meditation. And
Wow.
that's something that's ramped up a lot more for me in the last year, and now I'm meditating pretty much daily now. So
Nice.
that's something that just kind of really helps. And I meditate on what I suggest for people that are in the start stop cycle that are like looking for ways to kind of like use meditation is do like a manifestation or visualization manifestation meditation. That's a lot of words. It's a lot of tations.
Yes.
um but kind of use it to envision what your future self looks like your higher self, like the person that you, if you didn't have to have any restraints, you're allowed to dream, you're allowed to think as big as you want. Envision that person, yourself in the future as your higher self, is that person that's no longer drinking. Ask yourself, what would life look like? How would I feel? And really just get into that. And I'm sure there's meditations online. In fact, I'm working on creating some right now for my YouTube channel to be able to like help people visualize that. I have one up there right now that's like a
Yeah.
the moment you stop drinking, or the moment you think about alcohol meditation. So I'm getting started with it, but
Hey.
it's been so helpful for me. So just being able to dream about the life that you really know and see for yourself inside, and allow that to come to the surface, because we hide those parts of ourselves and we deserve them to be out here. So
Yes. Oh, that's so powerful. And manifestation, it really does work.
it
Um,
does.
yes, I've met women that are like, oh, I was thinking about, dreaming about this, and now like these things are happening, and they didn't even like, it's just crazy how it works. But I love that. And I love the
Yeah.
meditation. I have a Peloton, so I have the Peloton app and I do sleep meditations on there, but Insight
Hmm.
Timer too is great. But I never would have considered myself a meditation person. Like all this stuff, I'm like, it's a little woo for me,
Right.
but it's
Same.
been huge for me. It's been huge for my like nervous system, and it's my go-to. And it just
Right.
feels
You can look
yes,
at the woo-woo or the scientific side of it. And
yes,
whatever which way resonates with you, it works.
yes.
It's scientifically proven to work. And
Okay.
being ADHD is one of my struggles too,
Uh,
which I think has made the alcohol recovery process a little bit harder for me. And I
okay.
think that people have with ADHD kind of have extra challenges with that. But being able to sit and meditate was something I never thought I'd be
Mhm.
able to do. So now that I'm able to just, and it helps to listen to something, a guided meditation, for me to just like sit by myself. I can only get there for about a minute, but guided meditations are amazing. And like you said, Insight Timer is amazing.
Yes.
And I'm, creating some. So if anybody is ever interested in that, just hit me up and I'll, work on that for you or send you one.
Yes, I want to do some of yours too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, before we wrap up, I'm going to share one more thing that's been huge for me in my journey, and it's habits. So I have something in my programs called the Daily Sparkles because we want it to sound like fun, right? And really, it's helping
Right.
you find your sparkle on this journey and just living your best life alcohol free. And so for me, habits are my foundation to kind of live the life that I want that's aligned with kind of my core values and my goals here and all around being alcohol free. And so the thing about habits is they can be really small. You can do habits with less than 30 minutes if you want it. You can do them very quickly, but like it's really small things that add to really big results. And so for me, it's just tracking things, and like so it's obviously no alcohol is one for me, but maybe it's just moving my body, trying to move my body every single day. It's writing 3 things that I'm grateful for.
Hmm.
That really helps with your mindset. Also, self-care is one of my daily sparkles. Like take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Specifically as women, we put everybody first. So it's like put your own oxygen mask on, right? We all say that. And so it's doing that. And then also celebrating the wins. And so for me, early for me, I had a list of all my wins that I was focusing on in my journey, and I still have it. And it was small things like I washed my face today, or I did these things, right? And they all add up. So celebrating wins and doing that. And so for me, I would say if you have these simple habits to follow, they help you just show up better in the day. You show up better for yourself. You get more energy. You have more clarity about your want, and it feels really good to have this structure. And it also makes the alcohol free journey easier because these are like your anchors that just kind of help you and get back to it. So that's been really huge for me. And really having these habits has helped just build confidence. And it's something that I just absolutely love and promote. It's like just what can you do for yourself every day?
Hmm.
And whether it's you're doing it in the morning with the morning routine or at nighttime, but it's been huge just in my experience of going alcohol free and then also with everybody that I've worked with. So I love habits. Do you have
I
any
love
habits
that.
that you love?
Well, I mean, basically you touched on them. It's kind of the same
Yeah.
for me. I just make sure that I'm setting aside time for, like, I love to do retreats and like daytime retreats, not like, I love doing all of them. I wish I could go to a different island or a different place
Right.
all of the time, but there's a lot of like day retreats here. So a lot of yoga, sound baths. I love Reiki. I actually just had a Reiki and access bar, little woo woo here for you,
I want to do that.
session
That's on my
last night.
list.
And it
Yes.
was I've loved Reiki for a long time. After my mom passed away, that was kind of like one of my modalities for healing, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it, and I haven't been back since. And
Um,
so I had my first session again last night, and I've just been like on a cloud, like cloud nine, just like I feel lighter. I just like
yeah.
I have my sparkle, and I just instantly felt better, and I knew it was something that I had been needing. So making sure
Yeah.
that I'm prioritizing my self-care, and ritualizing my life, like making everything a fun little ritual. I love to like use the extra fancy ice cubes, the little flower silicone ones with my like sparkling water, just like creating these cute little ceremonies and rituals, just to like make everyday life, which when you stop drinking, life becomes a lot more simple, and
Yeah.
that can be hard for people in some ways. So finding these cute little things that you can do to
Yes.
just really find some whimsy every day, really it
Yes.
works. So find
Ooh.
your whimsy. That's a
Yes,
good
fine. I
tip.
love that so
Hmm.
much. You should turn that into a post. I think that's really
I'm
great.
gonna
Yes,
writing it
because
down.
when you are like on this journey and you're stuck in the start stop cycle, it can feel like you're missing out and it's going to be boring and like, what am I going to do? And there's actually, once you let go of alcohol, there's so much more that you're adding to your
Hmm.
life. And it's also
Right.
adding these new things. Like you're doing
Hmm.
the Reiki. I always say that wrong.
Yep.
Reiki, and you're doing, these nature walks or whatever it may be, sound baths, which I love a sound bath. Like all these
Hmm.
things you add, and it's really fun to just get curious and try these new things.
Yeah.
Some you might not be like, but
Yeah.
some you might love. And maybe it's, doing the habits or the runs or whatever it may be. And so that's just part of the fun.
Yeah,
And,
it is. You get all this time and freedom and
yeah,
ability to be able to just like find new hobbies and new joy, and just like
yeah,
new things that bring you purpose. So,
exactly. All
mhm.
right. Well, I've been loving this conversation. And so, Karin, for anybody that wants to learn more about you or work with you, like, what do you have going on? I would love to hear about it.
So, like I said earlier, I have my one-on-one coaching, and I offer complimentary calls. So, if you ever just want to like, talk a little bit about what's going on with you, no pressure, you can book a call with me. You can find that on my website, www.karenwall.com. And then you can find me on Instagram, sobriety.inbloom. And that's kind of the container I have for my business and brand that I'm currently building. And then if you're local to the Madison or Wisconsin area, I also do common ground recovery hikes one Sunday a month at Governor Nelson State Park here. And so it's basically forest therapy practices. So it's very slow, very intentional, very mindful. We walk, I guide you with some journal prompts. We have a couple share circles, and it's really just like a nice and beautiful and magical experience. So you can also find that information off of my website, so carnwall.com/recovery hike. And yeah, I have the meditations that I'm just working on YouTube. I have a Substack going, and just kind of building some things. So, but that's the main things that I offer right now is the coaching and the hikes. So,
So many things. I wish I was local. I'm going to come visit you one of these days and join
oh,
you.
it's gonna happen. Yeah,
I love it. Okay, and
same.
for yes, and for me, I actually have a membership called the Confidence Club. We're a small group of women, so the first week is free, and then it's just $29 after that. And I do weekly meetups. I do monthly coaching. We have like workshops, and we have Marco Polo groups. It's really a great place to be. And so, if you have any questions, reach out. I also have my amazingly AF summer program starting next month, so I'll start promoting that soon and one-on-one. So feel free to reach out here on Instagram or amazinglyalcoholfree.com, and you'll find all the things. And I'm starting to do in-person walks too and run. I did
Oh,
one
love
last weekend in
it.
the Seattle area. So if you're local, I'm doing a free meetup, and then hopefully I'll start doing some cool workshops. And
Awesome.
I might copy your nature walk. I'm going to ask you more. You might have to
I'll
show
let
me what you
you, I
do.
guess.
But super super cool. There's just so much about it, and honestly, I just love helping women, kind of figure out what their path is here and just help live their best lives alcohol free. It's
Absolutely.
so possible, and it can be really hard, and just remember, Karin and I are here if you guys ever need support, and just appreciate everyone that's watching us today.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here, everybody that tuned in. And thanks,
Yes.
Jamie, for kind of facilitating and spearheading this thing while I got to be lazy.
Yes, you can do the next one. We'll definitely be
Perfect.
back.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
And then we'll have to talk about the Gilmore Girls because Karin and I like the Gilmore Girls.
We are
So,
Gilmore Girls fans. If you like Gilmore
yes.
Girls, hit us up. We'll talk
Yep.
Gilmore Girls all
Yep.
day long.
I know, right? All right. Well, thanks everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you
Bye.
later. Bye.
Bye.